Good morning. It is great to be here on KCMO. But Hakeem Jeffries is still speaking on the House floor right now. So Mark Alford's going to be here in 30 minutes, Missouri congressman. We'll talk to him as this big, beautiful bill is set to be finalized today. But the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, out of New York, is speaking. I think he's 5 hours into talking. So he's got to have an adult diaper on. I see him drinking water there. He must have borrowed one of Joe's, and we're just going to have to wait and see till he's done. I don't know when that's going to happen, but he's still speaking, just trying to delay the vote on the big, not-so-beautiful bill.
Wish we'd add sport to it where you could throw things at him after, 3 hours, like paper airplanes gliding by.
Heads up there, Hakeem, coming in hot.
Incoming.
Oh, boy. Now, when it comes to American pride, I know a lot of us are sitting here on the eve of Independence Day, and we're certainly prideful of this country and, you know, what it's done for us, what it's done for the world. We saw that on display defending freedom last week, courtesy of the men and women out of Whiteman Air Force Base and those B-2 bombers hitting those Iranian nuclear sites. But it's amazing. I was looking at this poll from Gallup, and right now, when you look at pride in being an American, it is close to an all-time high for Republicans. Meantime, it has hit an all-time low for Democrats. And the gap is tremendous. And what's interesting to me, most interesting to me, is that the divide is not really as stark based on who's in office. So here are the numbers. Right now, 92% of Republicans say they are proud to be an American. What do you think the Democrat number is? Just take a wild guess. Guys want to dabble in there? You want to take a guess?
Unless what was the Republican again?
92.
I'd probably say 52.
All right, good guess. John, you want to take a dabble at it? Take a stab?
37.
Well, John, you almost nailed it. 36. 36% of Democrats are proud to be an American right now. Now, if you think, well, that's because Republicans have their guy in the White House and Democrats don't, let's go to a year ago. A year ago, Republicans were still in the mid-80s for American pride, right at about 85. Democrats were at about 60. So there was still a 25-point spread, Republicans over Democrats, in being proud to be an American when a Democrat was in the White House. In fact, the Democrats have not been proud to be an American above 80 based on this Gallup polling since 2015. Well, that was the last year of Barack Obama. But what's fascinating is that this poll goes back to 2001. And back in 2001, Democrats were at 87 on American pride. 87% of them were proud to be an American. And it was 90 for Republicans. Basically, we all agreed on being proud to be an American. But now that number's completely fallen off a cliff. And Republicans for the last 25 years have mostly hovered between 90 and 95. There was a little dip in the Biden era. It dipped to the mid-80s. But still, I mean, that's pretty damn good. I mean, that's pretty consistent, too. They're between 85 and 95. Republicans are proud to be Americans. Democrats were between 85 and 75 from about 2000 to 2015. And then the last 10 years, I mean, frankly, they've completely fallen off the deep end when it comes to American pride. They don't have a lot of it anymore. And when you're the party that believes that America has been sinful in nature, has not been on the right side of major historical events, and should be apologizing for a lot of what it's done over its nearly 250-year history, that makes sense. But it's going to continue to shrink them as a political party. I mean, they are shrinking themselves in real time. They are infected with this anti-American tumor that they're allowing to grow. Instead of just trying to crush it with some chemo, they're like, nah, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm going to try to beat this the old school way. But they're not even trying to beat it. They're letting it own their political party. I mean, you're seeing this with the guy that they've got in the New York City mayor's race right? Who's, self-proclaimed anti-capitalist, really, frankly, anti-American, certainly not a fan of the Jews either, when you look at some of his background and his history. So this is not surprising when you look at the trend for these two political parties and where they've been going the last 10 years. And regardless of the intricate details of the policy differences between two parties, I would rather be, if I'm looking to win going forward, I'd rather be the party that's considered pro-American and proud of the country that they live in than trying to win elections on the side of America's bad and there should be no pride for the country and what it stands for and the values that it was founded on. No matter what you think, if you just want to win going forward, which one do you want to be a part of? 913-408-7957. I saw this week, and I saved it for today because I said this is a good conversation to have with you the day before Independence Day. Let's go to the phones and say hi to Chris in Kansas City. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Pete. Thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to make a comment about the pride in being Americans when it comes to Democrats. It's not that they're just not proud, and I wish I was joking when I say this. It's not that they're just not proud to be Americans. They're not proud to be humans. They say they're for human rights, but really they're self-loathing people generally who have a guilty conscience for something, being alive. So that's what attracts them to hating or not being proud of where they live. If you're not proud of where you live, perhaps you should go someplace where you can live a life where you're proud of yourself and where you come from.
That's where I at least give, thank you, Chris, Rosie O'Donnell a little bit of credit. She put her money where her mouth was and she went to Ireland. Now, it's weird as she's still obsessed with Trump in the U.S., but at least she did, to her credit, leave and say, I'm out of here. I know some people don't want to give her credit, but I'll give her some credit for that. But you're right. That's absolutely true. Now, do I think it's as far as they have no pride in being a human? No. I just think that there is, you mentioned guilt. I think especially amongst the overeducated, woke, mostly white elite, they have white guilt. I think that's a big part of it for that subset of the party, which frankly is growing as the base of the party. As the Republican Party gets more diverse in nature, the Democrat Party is getting less diverse, and it's being, frankly, taken over by the most left-wing members of the party, and they're overwhelmingly white. That's what you saw in the New York City mayor's race, too. It wasn't, blacks and Latinos that put this Mamdani guy in there. It was the white, oftentimes overeducated base of the party that put the guy in there, John.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. To your point, maybe we just make a finer point and say the human race. In other words, they're so disgusted with all of us and they're above it.
Yeah.
Right? Rather than being human, be the human race.
That's probably part of it, too. And that's not just my analysis. Chris Saliza, who used to write for Washington Post and used to appear on CNN, he put up this graphic yesterday from Pew Research, and it shows here the Republican voting coalition is getting more diverse. The Democratic voting coalition is getting less diverse. So, in 2016, 88% of Trump voters were white. In 2024, it was 78% white. So the number is trending downward for them. In 2016, only 60% of Hillary Clinton voters were white. In 2024, for Kamala Harris, 64% of her voters were white. So they're trending in two different directions, which is fascinating as well. I was trying to explain to my girls last night. They're like, yeah, July 4th, woo. I'm like, it's Independence Day. They're like, looking at me, what's this guy talking about? I'm like, well, it's Independence Day. We celebrate the, of course, founding and celebration of America. And here's why. It just happens to fall on July 4th. Now, we're all guilty of it. Hey, 4th of July, July 4th. We're all guilty of it once in a while. But, I figure at 6 and 4 years old, I can try to inject them with the right patriotism.
You're working a little hard to be a dad.
I know.
Smoke bomb will fix everything. Here you go. This is what 4th of July is about.
It was a little bit of a stretch for a 6 and a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
They looked at me like I was nuts. So
well,
I'm
then
trying.
they'll apply it locally and want to leave the house.
Yeah,
See?
that's true. I'm trying, man.
God save the Queen, man.
I'm doing my best. All right. So we've got this poll that came out this week, and the poll shows that when it comes to being proud of your American roots, Republicans right now are at 92% and Democrats are at 36% when it comes to having American pride. And it's just not about who's in the White House. Last year, when Biden was wrapping up, Republicans were at 85% proud to be an American, and Democrats were barely above 60%. Now, they completely fell off the map from 60 to 36. Republicans kind of just ticked up a little bit, 85 to 92. It's not a huge jump. I mean, it's just kind of is what it is, right? But Democrats have not been above 80% when it comes to American pride in 10 years at this point. I mean, that's how bad it is right now. We're talking to you about the why. Jonathan in Kansas City, what's going on?
Hey, Pete. I think there's a lot of reasons why, a lot of people, especially on the left, but some on the right, too, and independents don't feel as patriotic. I think some of the big reasons, Ben Shapiro talks about this a lot. I think he writes about it in his books. We don't have a lot of common values anymore. When people say, well, what makes America great? Typically, when people are willing to provide an answer, when they do provide an answer, they will say a bunch of common values, typically. The problem is, as our society has become, we have less values of common decency in common. We have less religion. We don't believe in the same Constitution anymore. A lot of people reject our Constitution now. They think we should throw it away. So we don't have a common legal system. If you say, well, we should have a common language, people are like, well, you just hate people. So you can't have that. You can't have common morals. You can't have you can't encourage a religious community. And the whole concept, if you say, well, we should rebuild community institutions, people kind of look at you weird if you talk about that. Like J.D. Vance talks about that in his book, and he talks about it in public. Problem is, de Tocqueville and John Adams said, America's good because America's great, and it's only suitable for a moral and religious people, and our constitutional system is suitable for no other people. That's a part of the problem,
It's a great call, Jonathan. Thank you. You're right. I mean, we can't all agree on the value of faith, not necessarily the type of faith, but even the value of faith. We can't agree on what's legal and what's not, and we can't agree on being a country that's based on one language, right? That's considered now racist in some corners. So if you don't have those things that tie a country together culturally, then you really don't have a country. It's an excellent point. Ryan's in Kearney. Go ahead, Ryan. You're on KCMO. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. I was just going to say, if the liberals were to remake the song Proud to be an American, it'd be Proud to Destroy America is what it would be. I am so tired of these liberals. I'm a Hispanic American, and all my Hispanic friends are for Trump. And I had a lady tell me the other day, if I support Trump, then you shouldn't be celebrating the 4th of July. Why? And I'm thinking, do you guys just get sick of hearing yourselves talk all the time?
Now, was it like
Probably not.
was it like some white lady who said that to you, the Hispanic guy?
White lady, yeah. And she said, you're Hispanic and blah, blah, blah. It's like, come on. It's everything with you guys. If you're not protesting, you always got to put your 2 cents in.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it.
The washed-up hippies really seem to know what's best for you, the Hispanic American who's probably, first or maybe second generation.
How to vote, who to vote for, and what to do with your life because they know best.
Yeah, they do. So you're seeing that you're seeing that firsthand in the Latino community.
Firsthand, yes, sir. Yep.
And have you noticed it more expeditiously the last few years?
Yeah, but, I will tell you, I see more white women that hate Trump than Hispanic people in general. That's for sure. A lot. So my Mexican friend actually told me, he came here legally. He said, what makes me mad is that I had to wait to come to this country legally. He had to wait 2 years. And he said, it makes me mad that people can just come across this border and not have any repercussions for it.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I've never understood. It's never made sense to me that the political party that is trying to basically make illegal immigration an acceptable way to come to the country, why would any legal immigrant support that if they did it the right way, through the right channels, which takes time and money and a heck of a lot of effort?
Exactly. And what's the incentive to do it legally if you can just burn across the border?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ryan, thanks for the insight. Appreciate you, man. Good stuff there. 913-408-7957, our text line and our studio line here on KCMO Talk Radio. So, when I think about this topic in particular, let's be clear, I don't want it to be this way. It's not good for the country. I didn't want this conversation to just be like, beat up on the Democrats. They don't like America for, 20 minutes. I would rather be in a country where both major political parties and the people that associated with them were proud of their country. 25 years ago, that was the case. Republicans were at a 90% proud to be an American. Democrats were at an 87% proud to be an American. And even towards the end of George W. Bush, Democrats were still at 75%. Republicans were at about 95%. I'd rather be part of a country where both major political parties were proud of their country. That's healthier for the country. It's better for all of us. So I really, to me, the goal here is not to just beat up on one side. It was to say it's not healthy for the country when half the country does not have, frankly, any pride in it.